This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA Holes!
No way.
From the Sanosi 1.5K King Studios of Arizona, did Petr Yan defeat Sean Omalley? Controversy. Is Islam Makhachev the GOAT? Should TJ Dillashaw have fought against Aljamain Sterling? We're going to be talking about UFC 280 with the MMA Holes. Yes! Let's go, baby. Monday. Hanging with the boys. Welcome to the stream, friends. This is the MMA Holes. My name is Chris, Mystic Moss, King of the Dragons. You know, all the names over here. And I'm wonderful. How you guys doing tonight? Hopefully everyone is wonderful as well. So much to talk about. UFC 280 happened Saturday night. Ups and downs, underdogs and overdogs, everyone winning and losing, going down. A lot of arguments and complaining and screaming and yelling on Twitter. We're going to be talking about that. And we have a full show for you tonight, today, whatever time it is. I'm still trying to get used to this day stuff over here. So hit the like button, make me feel better about myself. Ariel's in the background over here, putting on a boring show. So I put him in the window, put him in timeout. I mean, I don't know how anyone watches that crap anymore. It's terrible. Looking at the guests over there, the only one he pulled was Aljamain Sterling, who had a dominating performance. But let's be honest, a little boring on the mic. No one cares about that. Everyone cares about the UFC 280 event. So we're going to be here talking about it. We're going to break it down. I'm going to tell you who won, who lost, why they won, why they lost. Were there robberies on this card? We're going to be talking about everything on this thing over here. Came up plus money on my bets as well. You know, listen, the legend of Mystic Moss continues. It continues to go on, and I'm starting to believe in it. You know, in the beginning, I was like, it's just a shtick. Let's get some subscribers and have some fun. And then next thing you know, these superpowers are real. A lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on whatever platform they have are trying to become these, you know, analysts and gurus and you know, whatever stupid name they come for themselves. At the end of the day, they're wrong. They're all wrong. And they all try to sound professional in a certain way and articulate themselves in a certain way. All cookie cutter BS that they're putting out there, and they're just giving you misinformation. That's what they're doing. At least over here, I get right down to the roots and tell you how I feel, and I don't just look at X's and O's, because what this card showed you, once again, is X and O's are important, but sometimes you got to look beyond that. You got to look into the emotions, the feelings, the face-offs, and all this other stuff. Everything comes into play. Also, you got to look at how many rounds a certain fight is. You got to look at style matchups on top of human behavior. Very important. Very important if you want to make predictions, bets, and you want to get the appropriate information. Take everything in, make the bets, predictions on Friday. After you get all the information, make the predictions, and then move forward. A lot of people betting with their heart, and that's fine. We're all fans over here at the end of the day. We like to talk a little smack. My guy is going to beat your guy. Your gal is going to beat my gal. That's what it's about, being a fan. But at the end of the day, if you're putting your hard-earned money in a certain direction, I feel that these other channels out there that are misleading you day in and day out, stop it. Stop it. I mean, if you want to watch lies and BS, watch that stuff. That's fine. You're allowed to be entertained in any way you want. But if you're putting your hard-earned money behind these things, perhaps you should rethink the content you're consuming. Now, this channel has been made 6 years ago, okay? It's about the fans. It's about the fans getting together, watching some fights, and we all enjoy the UFC, right? That's basically what it is, and we react to other combat sports. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva is happening Saturday night. We'll talk about that. Wednesday, Friday. But right now, today, UFC 280 is the topic. And the hottest of all the topics on the card is Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley. That went down. 3 fights from the top. The people's main event. I watched it back twice today. Really took a look at this fight with an unbiased eye. Because I got to be honest with you. I hit my bet. And, you know, I was worried. I was worried about this bet that I placed. But I hit it. So at the end of the day, I should be just tooting my own horn, riding on my horse into the sunset, and away we go. The problem I'm having with the Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan fight is the word robbery. That is a word we should not be using in the outcome of this fight. A robbery, to me, would be something like a lopsided demographic of people going out there and saying, this was bullshit. We did a poll, it's 50-50. I looked at the fight again. I saw a very close competitive fight, a fight that happened to be a fight of the night. We can debate round 1. We could debate round 3. And round 2, not much of a debate. Yan got that round. But 1 and 3, you could actually make a legitimate debate on either side of the fight, or who won that fight, that round. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about it. Let me know in the chat what you think. And by the way, Islam Makhachev gets the win. I am unsure why so many people out there were picking Charles. I have no idea how Charles wasn't the favorite, according to everyone yelling and screaming on the internet, but the odds makers got it right. They were completely right, as Islam Makhachev is far superior. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, that was a pretty easy bet for me to make. I wish the line was closer, but I mean, it just didn't make any sense, when you look at the styles, and we'll get to that. But we have to start with this Yan versus O'Malley situation. So I want to get your comments in the chat first, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about this thing. Okay? Very close fight, but people of the chat in attendance bright and early, what do you got to say? Show your words in our live chat. Yan did a lot more damage. I think people just don't like O'Malley. I had Sean 29-28. You think Alex has a chance over Izzy? Is that what you're talking about? And if that's the case, yes. Or Volkanovski. That's a conversation we'll get into. Yeah, I'll entertain that conversation when we talk about Makhachev. My comment, sudden death, round 4. Wonderful, wonderful. I respect people's opinions, but for me, it was a draw. Let's see. Hold on a second. We should get a 5-round fight right away, says Andre Villafranco. Andre, thank you for your comment. And here's the problem I have with draw. You need a 10-8 round. So was the 10-8 round Yan in the second? And then O'Malley won 1 in 3? I think a lot of people that throw a draw out there, they don't understand how draws work. Because I don't think you can give the second round a 10-8. A lot of fights, I see that. A draw. But give me a reason why. Don't just say draw because it's a close fight. If it's a close fight, you got to say, okay, one fighter did this and the other person did that. Like, I don't understand. And now it's a very, very close decision. It was a split decision. O'Malley was very shocked, like at the end. Like the look on O'Malley's face did not look like a winner. And that's what a lot of people are going to. Sean O'Malley was brought to levels that he's never seen before, and he admitted that. How Sean handled that, we'll talk about that in a second. But I do want to break down the fight before we get to that. I think Yan won, but I ain't mad about it. Close fight. Aljo Nurmagomedov. Yeah, I mean, Aljo basically said what he was going to do, and he did it. It was a good fight. I had Yan edging it out. I heard, hold on, to judge, especially for the Abu Dhabi judges. Oh, hard to judge, especially for the Abu Dhabi judges. Yeah, it's a tough one. I get the draw wouldn't work according to these rules. I was talking about it should be because I can't honestly decide who won. Okay, so so just say it's a coin flip, right? That's what it would be, right? You flip a coin because it's such a close fight. Okay, so we got some opinions out there. Keep on going. I see I won on damage. There's Sean O'Malley in the chat. Okay. Surprising, Sean O'Malley's not on ARIEL today. Shocking. Maybe probably Wednesday, I would imagine he'd be on there. No Sean on there. So guys and gals, listen, ARIEL's got a boring-ass show going on right now. Stand over here. We'll talk about UFC 280. Let's talk about Omalley versus Petr Yan. Okay, let's go over to the fight, which was fight of the night, and I think they got that right. Let me know in the chat if you think fight of the night is not accurate for this one. I think it was. Watching it back 2 more times, I was highly entertained. So many things to pull out of this fight that went down with Omalley and Petr Yan. Now, there was a stat that was popping around. We put it on our community section. It went all over the internet. And usually, people that were posting it were people, either like me that placed the bet on Omalley, people that picked Omalley, people were pro Omalley were throwing this stat around. And I'll show it right over here. Well, it's not the meme, but I'll just show you what they're talking about. Significant strikes, okay? 85 to 58. And the interesting part of those significant strikes, hold on, let me just make sure everything's good to go. Here we go. I always have to, putting in a submission for monetization because YouTube doesn't like to monetize our content. Speaking of monetization, there's Sonosi. Thank you, Sonosi.
Leaving this before heading back to work. Draws are hard, need a 10-8 or lose a PT. Only thing I'll say, Sean O'Malley proved he deserved to be the top 5 win or lose. No longer can call a hype train.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's fair, right? And thank you, Sonosi. I know Sonosi, I think he was on the Yan side of things, right? But, I mean, you gotta give the kids some sort of respect. Let me just say this to the newer people that are jumping in before we dive into this. I have been very tough on Sean O'Malley. Very tough. I liked him from the Contender Series. I did not like him when he made his debut and came in there and the whole ankle thing and, the Joe Rogan interview afterwards where he's like, just yelling into Michael injured and stuff. Like, I just like, what is going on here? There were things I was watching. I was like, man, I think this kid's not as good as everyone says he is. Then he put together a little win streak, and he had my respect. We had Chris Curtis on. Chris Curtis clearly does not like Sean O'Malley. He said it on our show, and like I have my issues with Sean O'Malley, right? And the problem is, like, I see a lot of these UFC fighters out there that are saying robbery, and when you got guys like Chris Curtis coming on the show saying how much they hate a specific fighter. And then saying robbery, it just doesn't, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, right? There are times where I just don't like a fighter so much I can never root for him, and I get it. But with Sean O'Malley, there are things I can't latch onto, but I can't put aside what he's done. Like, it's impossible to do. And what Sean O'Malley did in this fight, it just goes to show you that this kid is a legit top 5 bantamweight. The prediction that was made, let's talk about this. Thank you again for the donation. Appreciate that, Sonosi. Think about this prediction that I made. So before the fight, I broke it down to a freaking T. Like, I legit hit the nail on the head. I said the only way Sean O'Malley wins this thing is a decision. That is the only possible way. He is not knocking out Yan. I said that everyone's saying leg kicks with Petr Yan. Yes, he would go for him, but it's not going to be effective. Sean will start checking them things, and he'll step away. He'll be aware of the leg kick. He'd be an idiot not to be ready for that. I said the only issue that I find, and the only thing that scares me with Petr Yan, you could literally go to my breakdowns and hear this. I've had people rolling their eyes. Like, I've been doing appearances, people rolling their eyes, like, what is this guy talking about? I literally broke it down to a T, okay? I'm not a fucking analyst. I'm Joe Schmo here. I'm a fan. But I know what I see. Okay? So I said the problem is Petr Yan with the takedown. Not submitting Sean O'Malley, but I feel like that is the path to victory for Yan. You drag him down, you hold him down, you beat him up. That's the only way Yan's going to win this thing. The only way. Sean's too smart on the feet, And Yan had his moments on the feet. It's not like he didn't. But the only path to victory was that. And honestly, if people took into consideration the control time, the judges, Yan wins the fight. So it was a good game plan by Yan, just missed it. Sean O'Malley, the only way he can win is by a decision. And I said he has to win the first round. You win the first round, all you need is one more. That's it. You win by points, you move on, bang, I just beat the number 1 guy. Said it all. Said it all there. Like, I mean, everything to a freaking T. And I got nervous. When the press conference happened and I was watching Sean on the mic, I swung back onto Yan's side. And I was like, I am too nervous here. And then what happened Friday? I watched the actual face-offs. Sean O'Malley got some food in the system. I was actually watching Sean's, podcast from the room, just downloading information over there. He seemed fine. He didn't seem rattled in any way. I saw a guy that could actually get a decision win. So I went back to the Sean O'Malley side of things. I said Sean's going to win the fight, and bada bing, bada boom, he gets a controversial decision, but at the end of the day, he wins. Now, let's talk about the points over here, okay? I think we could all agree that it's a close fight, right? One's in the chat if you think it was a close fight. If not, just say no. One's in the chat if you think it was a close fight. If not, say no. But I mean, I don't understand how you couldn't think it's a close fight. I watched it 3 times. 3 times, and I was like, damn. This shit's tense. Like, I mean, it was a great fight. It literally could go either way. As the fight was going out, it went one way, it went the other way, it was like it was teeter-tottering the whole entire time. And here comes some ones in there. See, okay, all right, so I feel a little bit better. We all at least agree, whoever you think won that fight, very close. I'm hitting sour green apple live. Resin THC oil dabs on my day off, enjoying, feeling cozy. Thank you. Hey, hi. Hopefully you're enjoying your high. And by the way, if you're into that stuff, cbdx.com, promo code MMA-HOLES for 20% off. Shameless plug to our sponsor.
Wonderful.
Peter knocked him out. I had to count strikes to decide who won. Yeah, if you have to sit there and like literally count the strikes, that's the thing. Like if you actually have to sit there and be like, okay, all right, that, okay, check. Now, I keep on hearing this freaking weasel guy. I keep on hearing people out there. I didn't watch the video, but he's notorious for pushing an agenda. If he believes something, he will find every way to push the narrative in a certain direction. Say, this is why this happened. So I refuse to watch weasel videos. I honestly think whatever his bias is, he will make sure he carves a way to go with that bias. I can't consume that bullshit. I can't. It's just stupid. I have to watch with my own eyes and take the information, say, okay, did this guy win or that guy win? I mean, I think that's the fairest thing to do. So in the first round, and this is what I found interesting on the replay. The first round, I think, to me, was Sean's best round. I think to me, and it wasn't a guaranteed lock that Sean won that thing. For the people saying that Yan could have won that first round, I'm not arguing. Me personally, I just think Sean got a slight edge in that round to win it, and I feel more comfortable in that round saying that. The second round, clear that Yan got that, and then the third round comes, and it was close. Very close. You do have that knee that came in by Sean that created the damage. You did have the panic takedown after the head kick when Yan shoots in because he got hurt, let's be honest. But Yan's a beast, he's a badass, and he shot him perfectly, got that takedown. Okay? There was times in that round where I was like, shit, man. The third round, I was like, Sean could have lost this. But it was legit either way you can go. It depends on what you were looking at more. Damage, significant strikes, efficient striking, I feel Sean O'Malley got. Control time, I feel like Yan got. So listen, with one round that's confident in a direction of Petr Yan in the second, okay. But with 1 and 3, we literally can go either way. You can go either way. So in a fight like that, it goes to the judges, it goes to a split decision, and Sean edges it out. I think that's right. If it went to a decision and Petr Yan edged it out, that could be right too. That's not a robbery. It's not. The crowd was flip-flopping back and forth. You heard the booming Yan's chants going on. Then you heard the booming Sean O'Malley. Then the boos followed that. Back to the Petr Yan chant. Back to the Sean O'Malley. Things I didn't hear live because we're doing a fight reaction of our own. But in the replay, I got to hear that. So the crowd was torn going back and forth. Split decision, close fight, goes to O'Malley. Now here's something very interesting. While they're standing there, before they're O'Malley's about to get his hand raised, Sean is like, he's like, He's breathing. He's just trying to control himself, control his emotions, figure out what the hell just happened there. Because I think Sean expected Peter to be strong and powerful and a tough opponent. He expected all that. I don't think he was expecting to go to a place where he went, like he said. And Sean O'Malley gets the hand raised. Petr Yan looked disappointed, but it wasn't like he threw a temper tantrum. I didn't see Yan like fucking flipping things around, going crazy. He was professional, walked out. Now, I don't know what he said on Twitter. He probably said robbery or whatever. I'm sure that's usually what Peter does. But in the moment, he accepted the L and moved on. Sean O'Malley gets the mic, and he looked confused. He didn't know what the hell happened. He says, I have to watch the fight back. Just bad impersonation. But he said he had to watch the fight back, and the way he handled that situation might have been even bigger than the actual fight. He did what he had to do to get the win on the points. And handling that thing, not shoving it down your throat, which I got to be honest with you, as a fan of the sport, if he got on the mic and says, what do you think about that, mofo? I'm the #1 contender now. Feed me anybody. I'm getting that belt. Like, the fucking place would have went nuts. Even though they were booing him, they would have went nuts with emotion. And it would have been a big moment for Sean O'Malley to go out there and stomp his foot down, plant it in the ground and say, I'm here. I'm here. That was the moment. So in a promotional way, he kind of dropped the ball. But in a big picture way, Sean's already there. He's already a star. He didn't have to do that. He showed his composure. He showed being humble. And that's just going to get him more fans. That's going to get him more fans. He's going a different route. He's not McGregor. He's going his own route. He's doing his own thing. He's carving his own path. And if by any chance he does get that belt wrapped around his waist, which is going to be incredibly difficult because Aljamain Sterling is a monster right now in the zone, the perfect problem for a guy like Sean O'Malley. But if somehow Sean gets it done, I mean, we got a superstar. We got a superstar. Incredible. An incredible night of fights. An incredible upset win by Sean O'Malley. And take what you will. It was a very, very close decision. Robbery. Pull it off the table. Get those words out of your mouth. Now, look at the community section here. We put the poll up. Okay. Who won? And then, listen, I'm trolling a little bit. Had to put the picture of Yan with the big fucking gash in his head. More damage on the face. I mean, if you look at both guys, you know, Sean O'Malley clearly came out looking like he won a fight, but that's not everything. And I get it. But the poll stands at this. 51%, almost 3,000 votes so far. Keep on getting your votes in. 51% saying that O'Malley wins, and 49% say Yan wins. We're literally almost 50-50. That is not a robbery, friends. That is not a robbery. It is, if anyone that you actually take serious, respect the opinion of, says that this was a robbery, maybe you should rethink the respect you have for that person. Just saying. I mean, that's a hard fact. Just ridiculous. It's a close fight. Sean O'Malley got the squeeze out victory over there, got the job done. If Yan got his hand raised, I wouldn't be like, oh, robbery. No, I mean, come on. It's too close, man. Too close. Now, with all that being said, if this was a 5-round fight, Sean O'Malley loses. I am very confident, and I would have picked Petr Yan if this was a 5-round fight, and even watched that fight 3 times. This version of Sean O'Malley is not ready for a 5-round fight. Now, I'm not saying he can't win in the future a 5-round fight, but I guarantee if Sean O'Malley was here right now and I looked him in the eyes and said, Sean O'Malley, on that night, if that fight would have went 5 rounds, would you have won? I think he would be a little doubting of himself. And this is the best thing that can happen to Sugar Sean. This is the best thing. If you're a Sean O'Malley fan, this is the absolute best thing, because now he knows, okay, this is the top tier 3 rounds. I did what I had to do to win. Now, if I go to a 5-round fight, this is what I got to do. This is the best possible scenario. O'Malley knocks out Yan in the first round. That doesn't get him ready for a 5-round fight against Aljamain Sterling. He's not ready. Now he's ready. Now he's ready. I want to know what the chat thinks. We got some donations coming in. Let's let them play.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm not even upset about the bullshit decision anymore. I just don't want them to promote O'Malley over Chito for a title shot. Vera Cod, arguably the greatest bantamweight and lightweight in succession, and also beat O'Malley. He should be next for Olio.
Pulse, I love you. Thank you so much for the donation. By the way, someone slid into our DMs, Pulse. I was gonna put it on our Discord and I didn't do it. They played a phone call. You called another show apparently with these hard predictions. Like just talking crazy shit. And I was like, oh boy, this did not age well. I did hear it, just letting you know. But thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Okay, we move on. Here's the problem. If you call a show with a hard prediction, guys, it doesn't matter how small that show is. Someone could clip it and send it our way. It always could find its way to us. So always be prepared. Just like us, when we're live, I mean, we have to live by the sword and die by the sword over here. When I make a bad prediction, I am fucked. I am fucked. So just hope you know that. Dante Bosco, come on, baby.
Come on, get loud, MMA holes in the crowd. Come on, get loud, MMA holes in the crowd. Got MMA holes in the crowd. MMA holes in the crowd. MMA holes in the crowd.
Dante, what do you got, bud?
Moss, I want to buy you a McRib. It's back.
Let's go. But I never had, fun fact, I don't like ribs. Never had the McRib. And I know everyone loves the McRib. Don't need it. But thank you, Dante. Appreciate that. You bought me a beautiful $6 donation. Come on. Shout out to the MMA holes over there jumping in. Make sure you hit the like button. So right now, if you're just jumping in, we spoke about Sean O'Malley. I got to be honest with you, I could do 3 hours on this topic. I really could, because it's the most fascinating fight on the card. I do have to move on, but let's get some more thoughts over there. If you missed everything that I said about Sean, I'll repeat a little bit of it throughout the way, but make sure you watch my actual description. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that stands out. Sean's ability to get up from the takedown and not collect as much damage as Petr Yan was looking to throw down on him was excellent. Peter did get 6 out of 13 takedown attempts. Yan collects 6 of them. So he's under 500 with his takedown over there. He did have 5 minutes and 44 seconds of control time over here. And that is what everyone's jumping at, saying that's why Yan won the fight. It depends where you think the judges are going to go in this thing. And if people think Yan wins, I am not going to light you on fire, because I understand. But if people think O'Malley won, I understand that too. I do. And it was just some performance. And bad luck for Yan too, because if you think about it, a lot of people were yelling and screaming about Yan losing his last fight against Aljamain Sterling in the second attempt. And I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of with you. Like, I think Aljo did kind of squeeze that one out, but you can make an argument that Yan won that fight. You can. I think it's closer than some people want to give it credit to be. So Yan is in a little bit, I mean, if you look at his resume, this is bizarre. Petr Yan, there's no reason that a guy like Yan should be in this situation after his last couple of performances. Out of his last 4 fights, he won 1. Now, granted, the first illegal knee versus Aljo, he won that fight. But still, on paper, 4 fights. His last 4 fights, he only won 1 against Corey Sandhagen, who's very good. But I got to be honest with you, I think Sandhagen could be just a gatekeeper. A little tad bit overrated. Just saying, very good. But Aljo made it look easy. I got to be honest with you, I think I pick O'Malley over Sandhagen. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think I pick Sean over Sandhagen. Good fight. I would pick Cheeto over Sandhagen. You know, I mean, it gets tricky up here. Let's talk about the co-main event. But we will dive back into some Sean O'Malley stuff as well, because that's what people want.
Super chat.
Thanks for proving me wrong about Charles Mose. Charles literally ruined my day. My God, Islam is good.
Thank you, Bola. And here's the thing, man. I hate it when I get into listen, I love a debate with people from, the YouTube chat, whatever the social media platform is. I like going back and forth with you guys. So the fact that Islam and Charles was such a heated debate leading up, it was so much fun. Especially for the fact that I knew for sure Islam was going to win. Like, I was locked in on that. It was just, as soon as they made the fight, too, I was like, Islam's winning this. I said it many moons ago. So, I mean, when I have that edge, and I know that is the case throughout on the way over, it's fun. It's fun to me. Here's the problem, though. When the opponent is Charles Oliveira, and he's such a likable guy, there's nothing bad about Charles Oliveira. He's so fun to watch. He's such a likable personality. Maybe the whole running around with the blonde hair and the whole group gets a little weird after a while, but regardless, he's harmless, right? When it comes to his promotion, very respectful human being, an amazing story. I hate the fact that I got to go hard on the side of the other guy. I hate it because it's like, fuck, man, I don't dislike Charles. Now, if it's a guy like Jorge Masvidal, like I said, is a nice guy, but I have no problem bashing Jorge. No problem, because there's many things that I'm like, I just don't like that he does this. So it's easy for me to go against Jorge. Charles Oliveira, no. So the lead up was a little tough with Charlie Olives, being the guy that had to beat down and show you why he's going to lose. I didn't like that. And I hope you guys, jumped on the situation. I made 4 bets, okay? And I went 2 out of the 4. So people are like, that's not that great. At least get 3 out of the 4. I'm up plus money because of Sean O'Malley. When I place my individual bets, I always make sure there's backup plans. Now, hey, there are some weeks you're going to lose. It's inevitable. But at the end of the day, Sean O'Malley gets the win as the big under. And I thought Islam was just a lock with the minus money anyway. It doesn't matter. He was going to win. It was a guaranteed $50 in my pocket. So that's why I bet 100 on Islam. The fight that bothers me, and we're going to dive into Islam and Charles some more. We're going to bounce around on this card. We're going to have some fun here. Hit the like button. I don't understand how 200 people here, 66 likes. It just feels like you guys are fucking with me. Hit the like button. Let's go. Now, before I get into the co-main event, I do want to talk about mybookie.ag is how I made my money. The promo code is MMA-HOLES for a 100% match on your first deposit. So the website is mybookie.ag. Promo code MMA-HOLES. Get that 100% match. What? Thank you very much. And win. Listen, win big. I want everyone to win in this chat. I don't want people to lose. I don't want you to waste your money. That's the last thing I want you to do. And Sheath Underwear, best underwear in the game. There's a link in the description to that. 20% off. The promo code is MMA-HOLES. So get that comfy underwear. Head Rush. Same promo code throughout all our sponsors. Head Rush got premium clothing over there, badass clothing, and sexy clothing for the ladies. The promo code is MMA-HOLES for 20% off everything in the store, only for the MMA Holes. MMA-HOLES. I want to thank everyone that bought the pay-per-views through our link. We have a promo link in the description. ESPN Plus, you click the link, and you get the fights. Super simple. Spoke about CBDX.com. The promo code is MMA-HOLES for 20% off. And thank you to our sponsors. Now, I want to talk about the pay-per-views. I don't think the pay-per-view buys are very good. We had almost 500. Actually, we projected 500K, 500,000 views on that stream. By the way, we beat everyone. Again, when it comes to the big dances, the pay-per-views, we stomp everyone out during our fight reactions. Everyone catches L's. So thank you. One's in the chat if you were here during our live stream Saturday night. 500,000 views. Another round for that. Come on. I mean, we know how this works. Thank you very much. The pay-per-view buys, I think, were terrible. I was looking at the traffic going over there and the conversion from the people that clicked the link to actually buying the pay-per-views. I was like, oh my God. Not many people bought the pay-per-views. I think this thing kind of bombed. I think the buzz was there, but I have a feeling the pay-per-view buy is not so great, which is crazy because this card is incredible. It was an incredible card. It was so much fun. Now there were down parts of the card, and I'll knock on that in a sec. But all in all, thoroughly entertaining, right? Thoroughly entertaining. The top 3 fights were bangers. Belal Muhammad's performance, something else. Early start didn't help. 100% agree. Now, which is interesting, that helps us. People don't want to buy pay-per-views. They come over here. They hang with us. So that's great for us. But yeah, 500,000 views, and it doesn't look like they did fantastical with it. And I'm curious. I hope they release it. Now, how about this? Our 2... Let me just show you this. I look at numbers. I do look at numbers. I try not to pay attention to subscriber numbers. The only reason why I pay attention to subscribers is because I get tattoos down my back to 100K. Once I get to 100K, away we go. But I got to pay attention to that. But I do like to look at views, especially during pay-per-views. Every other stream, who cares? But pay-per-views, that's what means the most to me, because we got 2,000 subscribers in one night. Like, what the fuck? 2,000. Crazy stuff. We're sitting at 68K right now because of one event. So pay-per-views are very important to us. That is like, sweeps week. We got to make sure we perform then. But if you look at this is actually pretty funny. And I want to ask you guys in the chat. If you look at our top streams over here, so here's our popular videos. Now, our video on Saturday is still processing, so we should have 500K in no time. That will be the actual number, and it'll, of course, increase a long time. But our highest video is only 448,000, right? It was a Blachowicz fight against Adesanya when Izzy moved up, and it was like the perfect storm. But here's the funny part, and I was telling Jesse, I'm like, maybe this guy is a draw, just as a joke, and I want to see what you have to say. Aljamain Sterling was on this card. He's the common denominator. And Petr Yan actually is on the card as well, so I guess you could throw it at Peter. Is it Peter? Is it Aljo? Maybe you put him on the card. It's great. But Aljamain Sterling, the guy that really isn't a draw, let's be serious, is on this card. And who is on the card that we just reacted to that made our top stream? Funkmaster. Aljamain Sterling is on this card along with Petr Yan. So if you put Yan and Sterling on a card together, I mean, they're the two. Is that the secret sauce? Like, what the fuck? How does this work? Now, to us getting massive, views, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Now, when it comes to pay-per-view buys, I don't know if those guys are moving. I think the Izzy versus Yan card wasn't great on pay-per-views, and I feel like this is not great on pay-per-views as well. So it's pretty funny. If Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan are on a card together, well, mega night for us. So there's a little view thing. Mas, you think Ipo Shaw should receive any public punishment for... All right, let's talk about that. We'll talk about that. Let me catch up on this, and I will talk about that fight right now.
Wonderful.
Ipo Shaw.
I went 8 of 12 on 280 as a whole. I mean, who knew Dillashaw's arm was out of socket? In any case, if there's so much controversy, how about Peter and Omalley run it back immediately? Who do you think wins an immediate rematch?
Here's the thing. Before I was going live, I actually thought about that, right? For the fans, close fight, people yelling robberies, immediate rematch. The UFC won't do that. You got Sean O'Malley squeezing by Petr Yan. UFC's not going to do that. UFC's going to give him a title shot. There's no doubt about it. How do you not give... O'Malley just squeezed by. Now you have a perfect scenario to put O'Malley in a title fight. I mean, it's not now down the road. Don't be surprised if Yan finds his way into... the rematch with O'Malley and Yan, the rematch with Chito Vera and O'Malley, inevitable. But not right now. It'd be stupid for the UFC to do that. Like, you're literally destroying what you just got. You just, you hit your number on roulette, like just pump the brakes, pick the chips up and move on. Go to another game. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this, and thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. By the way, we got a new subscriber over here. Let's shout out the new subscriber. His name, or her name, The Open Minder. Let's go. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you. We're not going to put to bed the O'Malley fight. If other comments in the chat come up that are interesting, or a donation that comes in, of course, to interrupt the show, I will entertain whatever you'd like to talk about with O'Malley and Yan, because I do want to hear your side, because I know a lot of people are upset about the Petr Yan loss. But Aljamain Sterling running over TJ Dillashaw, okay? You know what? I don't feel terrible. I'm not trying to make excuses for picking a TJ. All the respect in the world to Aljamain Sterling. All the respect. The guy got it done, and I'm not surprised that he got it done in the way he did. But here is the problem that I have. And Dana White spoke about this as well. If you have an injury like that, where it's a legit problem, do not take that fight. You're ruining a card. You're ruining people's bets. People pay their hard-earned money to go to these events. If you're in that shape where your arm is popping out of its socket over and over again, do not fight. I don't care how tough you think you are. Don't fight. You can't do that. It's not a good look. In fact, this to me, and it might sound crazy, this to me is worse than TJ actually cheating. This bothers me way more. Because you know what? A lot of people fucking cheat. People are grabbing fences, grabbing gloves, they're taking EPO, they're fucking putting shit up their ball sack and ass. Who knows what they're doing? But going into a fight in that shape is fucked up. It's fucked up. So me losing that bet, you know, thank God I had safety bets going in there, and thank God I didn't think that TJ was a lock in that fight. I almost choked on myself. Imagine I just... But you don't do that. And you could tell Dana White was furious when they asked him at the post-fight media scrum. Dana wasn't happy. You don't do that. In fact, what did Dana say? He said, that's a problem. That's a problem. It is a freaking problem. You don't do that. Now, it's great. It's great for Aljo. You know, it's fantastic. Aljo goes in there and gets the easiest win of his fucking life. He beat the living shit out of TJ Dillashaw. TJ deserved that beating. And I'm very happy that Aljamain Sterling was the one to give it to him. Aljo got on top and beat the living shit out of him. Beat the brakes off of him. My parlay definitely died because of him, says Sonosi. Yeah. And this is another reason why I can't stand parlays. I can't stand it. Because there's really nothing we can do about injuries. A lot of fighters go into these things and we have no clue. At least if you have multiple bets out there and safety nets, chances are you could fall back and soften the blow. With a parlay, I can't say enough how much I hate them. The prop bets too. Imagine if you're watching like the best fight of the year and you bet on a prop in that fight that it was going to finish early and you don't get that finish early. You lose your prop bet. You're miserable the rest of the fight. You're not even enjoying the beauty of what you should be consuming. Like, prop bets are for fucking idiots. Parlays are just dopey. If you're a fight fan, now if you're not a fight fan and you just want to get some money and have some fun, fine. But if you're a fight fan, I couldn't even imagine putting a prop in and it exploding in your face, and then you're miserable the rest of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're watching Yan versus Omalley and you had that thing finishing early and it's going into the third round, you're miserable. The fight sucks now. You're whining, screaming, and that's why everyone's screaming robbery as well. Because props and fucking parlays ruin everyone's actual MMA knowledge. It takes everything that you know and tosses it right out the window. You guys are ruining the fucking sport. Just saying it. It's fucking crazy. Crazy. Oh, this guy won, ruins my parlay. Robbery. Without even taking in all the information. Betting is... I like to bet. It's fun. Bet straight up. If a guy loses, you move on. You move on. You know what I'm saying? But don't ruin a fight because you fucking lost in a prop early. It's just silly. It's silly stuff. It drives me nuts. And it's the reason why everyone on the internet is screaming and yelling at each other. It's the reason. Because dummies out there are mad because they didn't get their submission in the first round. And they ruin like fight of the year. So stupid. So dumb. Anyway, if you were betting on this fight, and I did have a bet on it as well, I have my safety nets. I don't care. But I am upset with TJ. Like, don't do that. If you're a fan of TJ Dillashaw just watching this fight, and he goes in there and is in the first like exchange, and they go down to the ground, TJ was like this close to tapping. Like TJ was taken down. He was writhing in pain. You could see he's trying to like move his shoulder around as Aljo's pummeling him. And he had his hand over the back. And it really looked like TJ was just going to say, all right, I'm done. Because of a pre-existing injury that, of course, Aljo made way worse. I mean, co-main event, title shot, you can't go in there. I don't care how tough you think you are. You can't. So credit to Aljo. No disrespect. The Funk Master beat the living snot out of him. And I'm glad he did. I am so off TJ's train. So off of it. I can't respect him because of that. That's stupid. Why ruin a fucking card because you're going in there with a serious injury? Why lie to the doctors? And I understand, listen, this is your life. But here's the thing. You know, it just looks terrible. Looks absolutely terrible. Just to get fucking humiliated. because you were too fucking stubborn to not tell the doctors about your situation. Crazy stuff. Let me know in the chat what you think. That really bothers me. I just bet against MMA Holes in chat. The only winner is Mystic Moss. Let's go, Jason. I got you, bud. TJ's shoulder retired before him. It did. If they got caught, they pay more, then they'd win. The MMA Holes, check Discord. I got a close-up of TJ's shoulder before the fight. Let me check it out. Oh, by the way, you see those pictures over there, scrolling pictures? I want to get rid of Bob Ross. Guys in the chat, whoever could put together the best, like, PNG, mystical PNG. I want a crystal ball in front of me just going like this. I need that picture. Mystical Moss. Give me a Mystical Moss picture. The best one I will throw up on this live chat over here. I got to get rid of Bob Ross. I need a mystical picture. I mean, I paint these pictures of beautiful predictions, but a mystical picture would be better.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'll go to Discord now. Sanosi.
I'm fine with losing. I never parlay high. Made some cash, still just not much. Also, all your legacy as a champ is cursed. Won by DQ, defended via controversial lay and pray and running, and now beat a dude with one arm. That's rough.
Yeah. You know, and Sanosi, I'm not even targeting you because I know you love parlays, but you're like, this is who I'm targeting. I'm targeting the people that have the fucking channels about betting, and they're going hard on props, hard on fucking parlays. Like, they're just like, the numbers are this and the numbers are that, plus money on this. Like, I feel like you guys are ruining the sport. But if Sanosi wants to go in there and have a little fun, the guy seriously got cash. He's fucking the 1.5K king, for God's sakes. So the guy has money to throw around. If you got money to throw around, you want to play those silly bets, then sure. But don't go complaining about it afterwards, right? Don't go crazy complaining because you're having fun. You're gambling, right? Some of these other people, they're like putting everything on these props and parlays. They explode and they're ruining the fights for themselves. Thank you for the donation. Let's go over to Discord. Okay. Yeah, at least you get it, man. We playfully banter back and forth. The people I'm targeting, they know what's up. All right, let's see. I got people calling us. What's going on here? Let me, maybe I'll take some phone calls later on. Let me take. If you really want phone calls, drive in those donations today. If you want phone calls, drive in those. Rip me up with some donations, and I'll fucking take some calls. Let's see. Let me go to Discord real quick. Notifications. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. So we do have a free Discord link down below if you want to do that. What the fuck? So, this is the picture he took on Instagram. A little tiny. I got to see the other side. So that's what they're saying. That was the injured shoulder, for sure. You know what? Let me look at the full picture. Because it's on his Instagram. He legit had an injury going into this thing. There's no doubt about it. Because like I said, when he was taking down the first hit, right off the bat, his shoulder like popped out and he's having these problems. They're working on him between rounds. You know? And Aljamain just didn't make it. I mean, that style does not help. I don't know what TJ was thinking. Like, I mean, listen. Like, could you imagine I had all my eggs in one basket? And it was that TJ fight? All right, here's the picture. I do feel bad for people that, like, he was anchoring their parlay or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. Oh, yeah. What the fuck? Look at this. You could see it. You could legit fucking see it. Dude, what is this guy doing? Hold on a second. Look. You see that fucking bump? I'm not a doctor, but that doesn't look good. With these, I don't know what the fuck's coming out of his shoulder right there. Here, completely fine. Now, I have a broken collarbone, so my collarbone is popped out over here, and it kind of looks like he might have broke his collarbone at one point too. But the shoulder does not look right. I mean, am I seeing something here? How do we not see? I know, right? I mean, we just see a ripped dude. We see a guy that's just fucking yoked, but he clearly has something going on there. Oh my God, look at this. Dude, what the fuck? I'm telling you, to me, this is worse than him cheating. This is worse. Fucking people pay hard money to go in there and see these guys compete. People bet on these guys, and they're going in with these types of injuries. That looks like a torn ACL joint more than a shoulder injury. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But it's serious. There's no doubt this. How is this not serious? Oh, my God. Dude, that drives me nuts. So, yeah, me losing this prediction, I don't feel so bad about it. Do I want to lose? No. Do I want to tell you, hey, I'm going this way and a guy takes an L? No. But thankfully, Sean O'Malley and Islam got the job done. Let me know in the chat what you think about that. Yeah, it's surprising. You know, the internet usually has magnifying glass and say, hey, what's up with this? I'm surprised we haven't got that. Maybe it did float around on Reddit and we missed it. Holy cow. Who cares? The guy wanted to provide for his family. Listen, you can provide for your family. You can. You're TJ fucking Dillashaw. You can show up at fucking events, sponsorships. It's very easy if you're TJ. You can go on social media, get some extra fucking sponsors to hop aboard, make appearances. There's ways. You don't fucking go in there and sabotage an event. He literally he almost sabotaged the whole fucking event. Imagine if that was the main event and it went down like that. Come on, dude. Get your shit together, bro. Listen, I don't want to shit on someone after a loss, but if you knew about that and then you went into there, that's not toughness. That's stupidity. He had the benefit of everyone hating Aljo more. Dana must be pissed. Yeah, think about the promoter. The promoter he flies everyone over to Abu Dhabi. I mean, you got the big fucking crazy sheiks or whatever the hell they're called. Like, you got fucking high rollers out there. You know, you got big sponsors on, like a lot of big things going on. And you got a guy going in and injured. So messed up. But Aljamain Sterling, great. And I feel bad for Aljo now. You know, like, I feel bad. I kind of, like, Aljo catches a lot of heat. And it's like, you know, everyone's going to be talking about TJ's injury rather than Aljo just beating the shit out of him. But, I mean, we all know, I mean, listen, Aljo could have beat him up no matter what. I'm not saying he couldn't have, because I was nervous about that fight. But, damn, man. You can't fight the champ injured. Yeah, you're fighting. I mean, come on. Aljo's the top tier right now. And he's a grappler. Now, if you're fighting a striker, maybe you could find ways. You're telling me with one arm you got to fight a grappler? Nick Newell does it with 1.5 arms in this trouble. Could you imagine just one arm? Dude, what the fuck? Dude, it's crazy. I really have nothing else to say about this. We have way more fights on the card. Of course, we didn't even speak about Islam versus Charles. So we're going to talk about that right now. But get your final thoughts on TJ the Snake, the injury Snake Dillashaw. Let me know in the chat what you think, and we'll move on to Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. We're bouncing around here on the main card. We will touch on some of the other fights as well. But thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Consider hitting the like button and share the stream out to your friends as we're recapping UFC 280. How many people in the chat met us on Saturday? Very new to the chat, new to the show. Let me know in the chat. TJ got so high on EPO, he thought he was a Habib going out there ready to wrestle with one arm tied behind his back. Yeah, maybe. TJ's a piece of shit. Aljo retired him. Yeah, TJ, I'm so off of TJ. You know, it's bad enough he cheated, but on top of it, he does this. It's like, come on, bro. I'm good. Islam's better than I thought. Maybe it popped out when Aljo slammed him. Oh yeah, it didn't. That didn't help it. But the injury was pre-existing. Like, that is clear that injury was pre-existing. But Connor does have the system to beat that style. I'm not going there. I'm not going there, man. I'm not. It's so tasty. I could have threw that right on the thumbnail, clickbaited, but I'm not going there today. Maybe another day. It's inevitable, but not today. Today's not the day. Props to TJ for fighting. He needed to. His haters are extremely beta scum. Okay, whatever. May as well give Cejudo the shot instead. Yeah, I mean, seriously. You may have given Sean O'Malley the shot, for God's sakes. Having a guy going there with one fucking arm. Like, what are you doing? I'm liking the Islam versus Conor storyline. Well, there will be no doubt about it that there would be some sort of stream about that. And it's going to be unavoidable for me. That Charles L is dwelling on me? Let's talk about it. Okay, here we go. Let's move on. I can't entertain the Conor stuff tonight. I just can't do it. And I love Conor. You know, guys, you know. OGs know what's up, but that's not, I'm not going down that path, because I know now that Islam is the champion, it's inevitable, guys. You know it's you know it. So we have plenty of streams ahead of us to beat that dead horse, but today is not one of them. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. The champion has a name, friends. Do you guys know what it is? Say it in the chat. The champion has a name. And thank you, Tevis Dasher, for the subscribe. Thank you, baby. Tevis. Look at good old Tevis over here. Dasher. Thank you so much, man. Weasel said he wants a cage match with you. Come on, that guy. I can't even, like, did you hear how he talks? I don't even know how you watch that shit. I can't. I don't know how you do it. Just put a clothespin on your nose and start talking. There's the Weasel. Pushing his own narrative and every fucking, like, credit to him for pushing content out quick. He does do that. Like, he gets right to the drawing board afterwards to get those quick clicks and shares and stuff like that. So credit on the hustle. Wish him all the respect in the world. But guys, he's terrible. I cannot listen to him at all because it's just nonsense. If he starts crying if it doesn't go his way. And it's like, this is why it really happened. It's like, no, bro. That's why you think it happened. Okay? Let's see. So Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Okay, submission, second round. I almost hit this one completely on the head too. But I did say that Islam would face a little adversity and then dominate. And that's basically what happened. I mean, Charles Oliveira is a dangerous guy. You know, you watch these fights with Charlie Olives, he gets in a little bit of trouble, then gets out of it. It seemed like after the first round, that was the case, but I wasn't nervous in this one. I was not nervous. Islam is just on another level. It's that freaking simple. The people that have doubted Islam, at this stage of the game, I'm just going to have to say you're just a straight up hater. Like, if you can't respect the guy now, if there's going to be some doubt, I mean, there is no doubt. Who did he fight was the narrative leading up to this thing. Who did he fight? When you're talking about certain fighters, you can go that route. When you're talking about Dagestani, neckbeard, fucking sambo dudes, no. It's not how it works. When you got a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov, and someone said this in our comments, so I'm going to give you a shout out. I don't remember what your name is, but I'll give you a shout out just for your thought because you're correct. When Khabib makes picks on his own guys and predictions, the guy's like 90% right. Like, Khabib, why would Khabib put everything on the line and say this is going to happen unless he truly, knows the case? He's in the war room with these guys, training for these fights. Khabib knows. And Islam Makhachev gets this job done on Charles Oliveira. He submits him. Submits Charles. I mean, come on. It's in the UFC when you pair up this style versus that style. BJJ is very powerful and can get you up to the position. It can win you a belt. You can defend the belt with it. But you run into these monsters with the chin straps, the guys that are just drilling destruction. Not, hey, how can I fight defensively? These guys over here.
Aw, super chat.
Thank you, Aloha.
Bro Makhachev ain't losing to nobody. He ain't
well, man, that's but I got to be honest with you, right now in the roster, I agree with you. Right now, it's just like, who beats this guy? Right now, it's so tough to say, okay, this is the problem. We're going to need some time to get that answer. But the style of Islam Makhachev, the offense and offense and offense, not, hey, what are we going to do defensively? How am I going to fucking punch my face through my fist through your face? How am I going to take your soul and submit you? The offensive style coming out of the Khabib and the boys is what Islam and these guys do so well. To take you down and punish you. To have no problem sitting in your guard and beating your face in. To be able to collect those legs no matter where you are in that cage and scoop you and gobble you up and suffocate your body with control. The power that they possess, the technique, and the mindset that guys like Islam Makhachev possess are really scary. And the dangerous thing about Islam, and I said this before, the thing that makes him more dangerous than Khabib is he lost. And let's be honest, it was kind of flukish. The guy that beat him hasn't won a fight since. That loss was literally the superpower amplifier for a guy like Islam. And he fights the guys, gets to the title shot, does it in enormous pressure with his Khabib in the corner, Abu Dhabi crowd going nuts, complete composure, never really in a horrific spot in a fight. Dominance. You can't beat it. You can't. No other style is going to beat this. Islam Makhachev, I'm telling you right now, will do things greater than Khabib ever did. How old is Islam? He is, I said this before, and now I'm even more confident. He's 31 years of age. Islam says he has no problem going up. No problem going to welterweight. It's not going to happen right yet because they're talking Volk in Australia, which is an interesting matchup, but we'll talk about that if it solidifies. We'll go down that road. The guy leading up to this fight, and I can talk about this because I've been preaching this a couple of fights back already. All the way leading up into this Charles fight. I was like, guys, this guy's on another level. Like I was saying it over and over again. And it was great having that Charles side of things. Made it interesting to stream because if we're all sucking off Islam, then there's no debate, there's no fun, there's no content. But listen, if you're not a believer still, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And now the storyline of that McGregor that's just lurking around. Listen, right now, Islam kills him. Kills him. Even McGregor saying his style and this and that. Islam kills him. But the fact that they could even try to put that together down the road, you're talking something like a night we've never seen on this show. You're talking ratings that are just like orgasmic for us. I'm having pre-ejaculation moments in my pants right now, just thinking of the possibilities of the numbers of something like that happening. But that's not going to happen next. It looks like Volkanovski is going to go up. They're going to fight in Australia or something like that. And away we go. There's really not much to say. I could sit here and gloat and say, fuck you, I did that Saturday. I let it out. I gave it to you guys and gals in the chat. And I hope you guys made the Islam bet when I was throwing it out there. But I'm not going to sit here on my high horse and just fucking say, ha, I told you. I did that already. I think now is the time to think about the new king that's been crowned at 155. The guy, when he beats Volkanovski, will be the pound-for-pound number one. And think about this. The guy with who did he fight has a chance to be pound-for-pound number one within one more fight. Let that sink in. One more fight, and this guy will be pound-for-pound number one. Volkanovski says, you put your belt on the line, I'll put my pound-for-pound number one on the line. If you think about a rise to greatness, there's no better. There's no fucking better. If Islam Makhachev beats Volkanovski, dude, it's crazy. It's incredible what this kid did. And what I like about him, he's humble. I was telling Jesse this too. No disrespect to Khabib. Khabib's great, right? But there is a part of Khabib that's kind of like a little bit of a prick. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of sarcasm hidden with Khabib. Everything's a competition. After the fight, he goes up to... It was pretty funny, actually, because I'm sarcastic, so I get it. But I can understand, why some people just don't like this personality. Khabib tells DC, he's pointing at Makhachev's belt, and he says, he got one. I got one. You don't have one of these belts. Like, that's what he says to DC. And DC's like, come on, man. It's like, it's Islam's night. Come on, why are you shitting on me right now? DC's got the old belt. Khabib's having fun, talking shit. He's in Makhachev's conversation. A BT Sports guy goes over to Khabib and is talking about soccer, and they get into this whole debate back and forth. Like, Khabib is, I don't know, he's a very competitive human being. But with Islam Makhachev, there's a humbleness. There's a competitive side. There's a confident side of Islam. But there's also a sweet side of Islam. And I don't think we've seen that before. Out of this camp, this style of fighter, we haven't seen this super humble type of personality. Islam is very unique. Very, very unique. He turns it up when he has to on the mic, but most of the time he's very soft-spoken and humble. Marketable guy. Definitely a marketable guy. You're not going to get the crazy press conferences with him. You're not going to get it. But what he does in the cage, the maulings that he's capable of doing, that's going to sell. That's going to sell for the UFC. I want to know what you guys think about the Islam Makhachev situation, as we got a donation from
Wonderful.
the 1.5 King.
I said this in the Discord. I realize now I never hated Islam. I hated Khabib. Did snatching the spotlight and etc. The smugness in the promoting of it, etc. But I was one of those who did he fight? Well, Fuki fought Charles and made the sub king tap.
That's Sonosi. Look at you. Perfect timing. That was 6 minutes ago, too. Perfect timing there, Sonosi. Thank you for the donation. That's the problem. People are saying, the people that didn't like Khabib are like, okay, I'm going to jump on this guy, which is interesting. And Jesse's going to be putting up her videos and her thoughts, aftermath stuff. So you get the other side of the equation with Jess. But what's interesting is Jesse loves Khabib and can't stand Islam. Like, not can't stand him, but she's just not a fan, right? Maybe she's more of a fan now. You'll find out from her mouth. I don't want to paraphrase. But a lot of people did not like Khabib, you know, and they see Islam connected and like, well, fuck this guy. Guilty by association. It's a different dude, man. Put aside the Khabib stuff. It's a different dude. Judge him on what he's doing. Don't judge him on his mentors. Thank you, Sonosi, for the donation. A fantastical stream today. Enjoying your company.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We got Kainoto coming in.
Mystic Moss is the gloat, winking face. Remember the name.
Remember the name. I got to say, though, like, you know, I don't want to go out there. You know, during our fight reactions, if I get it all week, if I'm getting it for weeks on the lead up, it's coming. I get that win. I'm coming after you, motherfuckers. And I got to be honest with you, Sean O'Malley winning that fight, yeah, I was nervous. It was a close fight. It could have went either way. I was very nervous. Robbery, no. Spoke about that before. But if I get that dub, that big plus money, you're going to hear it. If I hear it, you're going to hear it. That's just what happens. And if I lose, which I've lost before, not much, but when I do lose, and that like the 2% chance I do, give it back to me. That's what it's about. But at the end of the day, you can't deny the mystical powers that I have. You cannot deny it. At the end of the day, you're going to win. In the long run, the long race, you will always win if you stick with my mysticism. I promise you that. You have my word.
Super chat.
Khabib partly retired because of him. You can't really compare Khabib to him, and us Khabib fans want him to have a better career. I feel you hate Khabib.
So here's my thing with Khabib. I don't hate the guy. I don't love the guy. I severely respect the guy. I do. And I got to say this. Khabib, when Will Harris is doing the documentaries, or I see him behind the scenes going back and forth with his buds, I love that. I love his banter. I do. But there's something about him I can't connect with Khabib. That dry, I'm going to leave my wife home with the kids and do my... like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how you're never around your family. I can't relate to that. Like, the fact that I'm not with my daughter now bothers me. You know? Khabib, he's just fucking out and about doing his thing. He doesn't give a fuck. You know, like, I can't relate with that lifestyle. I understand even the Muslim lifestyle. Like, whatever works for your community, that's great, but I can't relate, you know? So it's tough for a guy like me to relate with a guy that's super religious like Khabib. I just can't do it. But with Islam Makhachev, not only do I appreciate what he is doing, I do like what he says on the mic. He's got a softness about him that I can jump on, a little humbleness that I could jump on. When I was watching Khabib, he was on the rise up. I'm going to smash chicken. That's my guy. You know, Connor's my dude. I'm going to smash chicken. I'm going to do this to chicken. Well, of course I'm not going to be a Khabib fan because I'm a Connor guy. So there it is. Like, maybe if the Connor situation wasn't in the equation, right? And the other way too, think about this. If you're a Khabib fan, you hate Connor, right? That's it. But Khabib, there's a lot of things that I just can't latch onto because of whether it's his rivalry with my guy or with whatever his beliefs are or whatever it is. I just can't go there. But with Islam, there's nothing negative I could say about the guy. I haven't seen anything about Islam where I'm like, I can't relate to that. He seems cool. He seems like a good dude. Just like fucking KHAMZAT Chimaev. Now, there are things about KHAMZAT I could understand you don't like. But for some reason, he hasn't gotten... I don't know. I still like KHAMZAT. So, you know, certain people you gravitate to, certain people you don't. Khabib, I didn't completely gravitate to, but he's the best 155er of all time. Won't last. I said this when Khabib, right before Khabib retired. I said, if he retires early, we will forget him. I said this. And it may not be respected because of my history with the whole Khabib situation, but it's the truth. It is the God's honest truth. Islam Makhachev defends the belt a couple of times. No one, I promise you, no one will give a shit about Khabib. No one will care anymore. He'll be old news. Islam defends. Islam goes up to 170. Starts winning fights over that. Dude, no one would even think about it. Khabib will literally be a fairy tale that no one gives a shit about anymore. And I think Khabib's fine with that. I don't think Khabib needs that spotlight. So I do respect that. But if you're a Khabib fan, I hate to break it to you, that storyline is going to be gone soon. There's a new story being written. And his name is Islam Makhachev. He will eclipse everything Khabib did if he keeps going on this path. It's the truth. Now, whether you don't like what I'm saying or not, it's the fucking truth. We'll see where it happens. What happens here?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Kai Noto.
Moss actually makes some crazy picks, but the guy nails it too often to say it's luck. Props to you. You read better, Genie. Props. Not that Genie.
Thank you. Thank you. And like I said before, if you guys have any artistic talents on our Discord, I need a mystical picture. A mystical picture here. Best one I'm going to throw on the live chat scene over here. And if you have a good picture of Jessie with her content as well, throw it up over here for the scrolling pictures. Thank you to those who submit their crazy art. I love it. They're wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, so let's get your final thoughts over here on Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira. I want to know what you think about that. Okay, I don't want to make this about Khabib. It's Islam's day. You know, it's Islam's week. Islam got it done over here. Real fantastic stuff. Whether it's matchups you'd like to see, things you were surprised about in the fight, things you thought were going to happen in the fight. Islam Makhachev, what'd you think about his UFC 280 performance? Was it wonderful, wonderful?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mas, imagine Khabib trains. Oh, yeah, I saw that T-City is begging to train with Khabib. Look at BJJ guys. I was going to say BJJ guys. No offense to BJJ. Effective, just not in the UFC compared to Sambo. When you got BJJ guys saying, Khabib, please train me, what does that say about BJJ and UFC? The octagon. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is very effective. Although a lot of the fighters that I talk to now are saying, like, if I were to have Ellie train as she gets older, my daughter, because I want to get into BJJ, they're saying, no, get her into wrestling. What are you doing? They might be right. And what I think we're going to see, too, like we always see hybrids of things. I think what we're going to eventually see is a hybrid BJJ Sambo-esque. Oh, you've seen it with Khabib. Khabib has some BJJ skills in him. So I think that's what we're going to see, more of that hybrid approach where, you know, one craft is not everything. Like, you're going to be mixed. American wrestling, greater than Sambo. I would put Sambo over American wrestling. I'm sorry. But then again, Bo Nickel versus KHAMZAT, I guess that's going to be the test. Submission wrestling, BJJ Sambo hybrid. No? Okay. I think there's going to be. I really do. Because there are some things in BJJ that help, especially if you're in a bad spot, right? They must teach you how to be a tough, because Belal looked great. Yeah, Belal looked awesome. American wrestling is levels better than BJJ. You're just saying that because you're a Brock Lesnar guy. Stop it. You're saying WWE over UFC. That's what you're saying. You just need to KO those Sambo guys and get lucky off the start. Yeah, I guess knees and, you know, catch them on the way in. It's just, I guess, you know, on top of their background with that Sambo style, they are incredibly tough human beings. They've been through some shit that a lot of fighters haven't been through. You know, when you see guys like Islam Makhachev, as kids, they're raised way different. It's not like they were spoon-fed. You know, they're a whole different animal. Why can't I click on Islam? So I think that goes into play too. So it's not just, hey, I know Sambo, now I'm great. I think you do have to mix in the toughness and the blood, what's flowing through your veins. It's like that Mexican pride too, you know, when you watch boxing. Mexican boxers, tough as nails. Doesn't matter how talented they're just fucking tough human beings.
Super chat.
Would you say Khabib will become the GOAT of coach?
I mean, yeah, he's got a chance, man. Yeah, okay, let me just say that's a great donation. Ronaldo. How you say his name? Alidiak? Okay, I'm going to say this. Ready for this? Khabib Nurmagomedov will be known as a greater coach than an actual UFC fighter. 100%. 100%. 100%. And I think he's fine with that. Now, that is a legacy. That is a legacy. If Khabib is known more as the brilliant mind of a coach over the UFC fighter, he's already accomplished what he did as a UFC fighter. So if you look at him as a coach and all his guys keep winning, and then you're like, holy shit, he was also undefeated. Like people that don't know Khabib look back and say, oh man, I never knew he was undefeated. He was undefeated as a UFC fighter. Like think about like 3 generations down the road when you're looking back at like what Khabib has done. You know, people are going to forget what he did in the octagon because he kind of left premature. But as a coach, yeah. As a coach, that could be where his legacy is. Let's see. I can probably agree with that one. Khabib pound for pound, Islam GOAT lightweight. I mean, yeah, you could see that. You could see Khabib as the greatest coach of all time. I mean, people, if you got guys like Brian Ortega saying, please train me, you know, and you got guys like Belal Muhammad, okay, who, you know, coincidentally managed by the same people. Belal Muhammad gets a massive win over Sean Brady. Massive. Guy's undefeated. I'm not shocked that Belal won. I picked Sean Brady. I couldn't bet on this fight for the reason why it went down. By the way, I'm not even going to entertain early stop. I'm not going to do it. You could make an argument either way. I get it, but I still think I lean in direction of okay, stop over here. If it's a title fight, I would entertain it. I'm not going to entertain it here. I'm not. So Belal Muhammad, you have to give this man the utmost respect for taking out Sean Brady. Not just going to a decision, showing that he's got hands as well. And who did he go over to? On top of his nice win streak, he sharpened his tools with Khabib. You guys are lunatics. Khabib will forever be known for what he did in the cage as a fighter versus coaching. Nope, it's not true. That's so not true. That's so not true. I'm telling you right now, if Islam eclipses him with title defenses within the next generation, Khabib will be completely old news. But if Khabib keeps winning as a coach, you know, people will go back into the record books and say, holy shit, he did this as a fighter? You know what I'm saying? It will eclipse it. Because if Khabib is pumping out champions out of his gym, his training, you know, whatever, you know, it is what it is. Khabib left early, but on his own terms and very respectful. I'm not trying to knock Khabib for what he did in the cage. He had a chance to be the greatest of everything. But he did. He pumped the brakes. He respected his parents' wishes or his mom's wishes and moved on. Moved on. It's all good. And I got to be honest with you, being respected as a coach is just as good, if not even better, than a fighter. You know? You could build a stable of champions, and, I mean, talk about legacy. Look at Bill Belichick. I mean, this guy, what he did with the Patriots. I mean, the dude fucking dresses like a bum, and he's like the greatest coach of all time, you know? Okay, so Belal Muhammad versus Sean Brady. Like I said, fantastic stuff over here. Getting that win in the second round. Was not surprised. But I got to say this. We could now make an argument with Belal Muhammad. There was a time where I just couldn't quite do it yet. I couldn't say, okay, Belal in the mix for a title shot. The Leon Edwards. I feel like Leon's a problem for him. I do feel like he's a massive problem. But Belal Muhammad is a player, and we'll find out Wednesday where he stands in the middleweight rankings. He was at 5, and so Brady was lower. So, man, oh, man, where does he go? I feel KHAMZAT is going to stay at welterweight. You know, that whole move up to middleweight. I think KHAMZAT's going to be like, no, I'll make the weight. I think he's going to do whatever he can to get that belt. So Belal's in a pickle here. You might have to have Belal Burns go at it. Damn. I tell you what, Belal Colby Covington, because we don't know what's going on KHAMZAT. If you can't get that Colby versus KHAMZAT fight, which I don't see why Colby would take that, I think Belal Colby is the fight to make. That makes all sorts of sense. Because you got another Ali Abdelaziz guy going after Colby Covington. That feels like it's so right. And then if Belal wins that fight, a title shot. Belal Masvidal? Nah. Jorge's, where's he at now? He dropped so far. Where is he? He's at 11 now. Jesus. You don't want that. I tell you, Belal versus Burns would be good too. but managed by the same team. I don't know if they're going to put that together. I think Colby versus Belal is great. A couple of the mix-and matches you could do here. You know, I wish Colby CAMZAT happened, and Burns versus Muhammad is great. That's a great matchup. But what do you think? What do you think would be next for Belal Muhammad? I don't think he moves much because he fought a guy under him, so it's unfortunate. Yan got robbed. Run it back, baby. I broke it down ad nauseum in the beginning of the stream. So run it back, and I want to know your comments after you listen. Burns is fighting Masvidal. Rumors have it. Yeah, that's been going on for a little bit. No one's signing any papers. It's so annoying. I feel bad for Burns. No one wants to fight the guy. I don't blame him. This guy's scary.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Sanosi.
This coach talk made me just think of something nuts. The name Nurmagomedov might be the next Gracie family, all made by Khabib father. Thoughts? Because knowing my history, this gives me Gracie vibes, including the domination.
Yeah, you know what?
COSTA ATM.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. You're 100% right. The name Nurmagomedov, they're going to be pumping out newer generations with the same name. Under Khabib's wing. Shit, man. Shit. You're right. This will be bigger than the Gracie thing, I think. I mean, like, just domination in a way of, like, the only reason why I say this is bigger is because the UFC is so much bigger as a sport now, you know? But that's a good analogy. I do like that. Yeah, Khabib, listen, you can't look past what he's doing. You can't. As a coach now, it's like, what? Dude, the guy's got it. But that group of fighters, that bloodline, it's different. It's different, man. It is. It's just a different type of human being that is just, it's bred perfectly for this style of sport. Like a Godfather type thing. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you don't like Khabib, you might as well stop watching UFC, because if you don't like any of that Muslim neckbeard demographic, get out of the UFC. Don't watch the sport. It's here to stay. You know what's funny? I said this about, man, it had to be like 5 years ago, or I can't remember when it was, but it was early in our channel. I was watching Bellator. Sorry. And I was noticing all this heavy Russian talent in Bellator, and I would say on stream, I was like, man, if the UFC would just gobble into this Russian talent, like they would have some studs. Like I was saying it over and over again, and then the UFC finally caught on. They started dragging some of this Russian talent in there, and bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Away we go. They are scary. Scary in this sport, and very fun to watch. All right, so Belal Muhammad, who's next? That's what we were talking about. I mean, not much really to say. Belal looked fantastic. It's just he's in a bad spot. He doesn't get a title shot. Leon's going to be fighting Usman again for the trilogy. I think it's going to be in England. So Belal's there's like this mess. Like you kind of need, if Kamaru actually lost again, you wonder, is Kamaru going to think about hanging it up? And if he hangs it up, that loosens a lot of things up in the division. You know? But, yeah, we're kind of tied up here. So Belal's in a kind of shitty spot. He took a guy lower ranked than him. He doesn't really move much in the rankings and had such a fantastic win. Credit to Belal taking that fight. Dangerous fight to take. Took it. He deserves to be rewarded. I say one more, he gets a title shot. That's what I'm saying over there. Those are my Belal Muhammad thoughts.
Super chat.
Yo, let's go, baby. Dropping super chats. Thank you.
Islam is better, but why Khabib most of the he wins do you think is because of wrestling? Javier and DC said this Islam wins rounds though.
Yeah, I was saying this before. Like people were mumbling the fact that Islam's striking. This is earlier. They were saying Islam's striking is better than Khabib, and I was like, I got to see more of this. But as I started watching him fight, I agreed. I think Islam is a superior striker to Khabib. I do. I think Islam's striking is. He dropped Charles, then submitted him. It's not like he grinded him down to the floor. He popped him, put him down, and then submitted him. Like that's pretty good. Charles is a pretty good striker. Let's see. Javier, let's see. Javier in DC said this Islam wins rounds though. So, yeah, I mean, he could win any way. There's no way he can't win. However he wants to win, he will win. It's crazy when you hear this guy talk. Soft-spoken, humble guy with such a scary tool set. It's incredible. Thank you, ma'am, for the donation. Thank you, everyone, for the donations. Early in the day stream. Appreciate it. Hit the fucking like button. All right, let's see what else we have on this card, because I do want to dive into every, situation over here so we can cover everything on the card. Events. This is this weekend, Cater versus Allen. We'll dive more into that. We're probably doing a double stream going into the Jake Paul and Anderson Silva fight. By the way, Wednesday, we do have a guest. This is going to be an interesting one, friends. Jesse on Fire coming on the show. For those that don't know, we're finally doing it. Jesse on Fire on the MMA Holes. So get your popcorn ready. Wednesday night, the shows collide. Jesse on Fire coming on. Listen, how do you not have him? He just did the fight companion with Brendan Schaub, which we crushed. No offense. No offense. No offense. No offense. We crushed Schaub. We crushed you. We crushed you. You may want to hit us up for some advice. Just saying. But yeah, he was actually on there. So go check out what he did over there. Loudmouth Ginger. Yeah, he's doing his thing. Like, you can't disrespect what he's doing on the. You may disagree. You may not like his takes. You may not like his delivery. It's fine. May think the same thing about me too. But you gotta admit, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Okay, so anyway, we're going into the rest of this card over here. Should definitely be an interesting night. Okay. So, how do we not talk about Beneil Dariush? He fucking beat him. He beat Gamrot. In fact, he dominated him. Like, Beneil Dariush looked mega, absolute perfect. And talk about a dark horse that no one's given respect or credit to. Benny and the wins. Beneil Dariush gets the win. And I got to say this, after watching the fight, I was like, I think we're all kind of overhyping Gamrot and underlooking a guy. I think it's a mixture of both. Beneil Dariush now 22-4-1. He hasn't lost since the Hernandez fight in 2018, which is crazy that he lost to Alexander. How do you lose to Alexander Hernandez? I'll give you credit for Barbosa, the leg kicks, the flying knee. Listen, very dangerous human being. I don't know how you lose to Hernandez. I don't know how that happens, but he did get knocked out. He did get clipped. But he's on a 1, 2, 3. I mean, you got some good names on here, too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak. And here we are, just sucking off a guy named Islam Makhachev, saying he's the GOAT, he's the greatest, he's the guy to beat. Could you just imagine a world where Beneil Dariush eventually, he's probably going to have to fight one more because it looks like Islam's going to go fight Volkanovski. But imagine if the UFC does the right thing and they give Benny the title shot against Islam and Benny beats him. Could you imagine? Think about this. Beneil Dariush becomes your new champion. Everyone we're saying about Islam Makhachev right out the window. Benny stops all the takedowns. He finds a way to outstrike him. Wins a hard-fought decision. Or clips him and knocks him out, maybe. Who knows? Could you freaking imagine? Now, I'm saying no, it's not going to happen. But my goodness, talk about a shakeup in the UFC if this human being over here gets that strap. Now, does anyone want to see that? Does anyone think that's even logical to entertain? Let me know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no matter what, even if Benny gets the shot, Islam is just too much. That's what I say, at least. But let me know what the chat thinks. I think it's a fascinating conversation. You can't dismiss Benny. Jesse steals content. That guy's, all right, well, we'll bring it up while he's on the show. Anything you don't like about him, bring it up on the show. But we will address everything. If you have issues, we'll have him here to clear it up, okay? We will clear up all the issues. Wednesday is going to be interesting. Omalley is going to be a big bust once he gets KO. But he has a concussion from Yan fight. Sure sounded like it. Yeah, O'Malley sounded pretty lumped up. There's no doubt about it. I think Benny has a legit chance against Islam stylistically. Yeah, and imagine if one day it rained cats and dogs. Yeah, give me a chance. Hate his personality. I don't... Okay. Are we talking? Okay, who are we talking about? Are we talking about Benny or are we talking about our guest on Wednesday? I don't know. It's one hell of a fantasy. Khabib is the best UFC fighter ever, says Kai. So, Kai, you think, well, right now, listen, you still can't put Islam ahead of him now, but you could start talking. You could open up the conversation. Jesse, okay. We're the Islam haters, says Izzy. I don't know, man. A lot of people were shitting on Islam. They all scurried away. They all ran over to Yan was robbed. Both Islam and Khabib got second round subs, same place. Crazy. Both Islam and Khabib got second round subs, same place. Crazy. Oh, you're talking about Abu Dhabi, yeah. But here's the thing. Khabib beat Ally Quinta, went to a decision, and got the belt. Islam Makhachev beats Charles Oliveira and submits him in the second round in Abu Dhabi. Now, the Ayaquinta was in Madison Square Garden. It's a big deal, but it is Raging Al. No offense to Raging Al. Guy's a nice guy. But I mean, it's like apples and oranges here. Think about that. Think about how Khabib got the belt, and now credit when he defended, he beat some good guys. But I mean, look what Islam did. I already knew Islam was going to win. Prime Don Fry would beat Islam. I'm with you. Don. The fuck?
Wonderful.
Oh, God.
Benny ass will get raped.
Benny's ass will get raped, says Uncle Chrome. Thank you. I'm with you, though. I do feel that Islam, of course, wins that fight. But you got to throw it out there, right? You got to throw it out there and see. Because I could be honest with you, like, a lot of people cannot stand the neckbeards. It's that simple. A lot of people just don't like it. They don't want to see them win. So if Benny gets the shot, Team Benny all day. We're going to have all the crazy saying Benny's going to get the win. Now, listen, you can make the argument. Benny's damn good. He's damn good. I don't think he beats Islam. Uncle Chrome doesn't think he beats Islam. So let me know in the chat what you think. But real big respect to Beneil Dariush. A very solid win. Caitlin Chukagian, I never, ever, ever want to see her fight again. I am donezo, baby. Done. I am so done. You miss weight, and then you lose by a decision against a very tough girl, yes. But come on. And this is another one I put a bet on. This was my worst bet on the card. TJ, at least I get a pass because of him coming in with an injury. No clue. But Caitlin Chukagian, I am so over her. I know she's got Ali Abdelaziz as the manager. Big spot. She fumbles the ball, missing weight. Stop. Done. Nothing to say about this. Disgrazia, this Chukagian girl. And that's that. We spoke about Belal. Fantastic win. And, Belal legit is the real deal. There's no doubt about that. Is he going to be a champion? To be determined. Why is this thing getting all jammed up? I'm going to have to go here. Okay, let's go to the rest of the fights on this card. Barral got the unanimous decision. Very tough fight. Nothing to say. Let me just say this. The card got a little sketch. You had these 3 unanimous decisions in a row. Petrosyan, Nurmagomedov, and Krylov. Okay. Krylov, Ozdemir started off pretty good, but then I don't know. You have the submission, but my Makhachev, he was a massive favorite in the fight. So, 4 there. It was okay, the card at one point, and then just hit into overdrive with crazy stories. But it took a little while, for me at least. It didn't really, hit me. And look at what we started with. Carol Rosa versus Lena Landsberg. 40 years old Lena, trying to hang in there. Survive. Loses a decision to Carol Rosa. So, I got to be honest with you. It kind of started off a little lame. We started to pick up 7 fights in. 7 fights in is when we're like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, Belal versus Bray, this is a banger. And then we fucking fall asleep during Fioro and Chukagian. And then after that, we're good. If you finish strong in a card, you tend to forget all the nonsense that puts you to sleep. But like I said, the Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan, well-deserving of a fight of the night. Incredible fight. Could have went either way. I do think they got it right. I have to be honest with you, even in 3 times watching this thing, like I said in the beginning, I do feel like they got that fight correct. But still, if you think Yan won that fight, I am not going to shit on you. If you say robbery, I'm going to spread my cheeks, I'm going to squat in your face, and I'm going to shit in your mouth.
Wonderful.
It's just that simple. Aljamain Sterling with his win over TJ Dillashaw. TJ coming into this fight injured. I spoke about it before. It's just ridiculous. Dana White says it's a problem. It is a problem. It's a problem for everyone. So I want to take TJ Dillashaw. I want to lie him on the ground. I want to spread my ass cheeks, and I want to shit in his mouth.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And then you have the main event, Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. No one gets... Oh, wait, you know what? Hold on. Let me stop real quick. I want to take everyone that was shitting on me the whole lead up saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. I want to take all of them, line them up. I want to eat a lot of beans. The smelliest things I could possibly put in my body so when I shit in their mouths, they can enjoy my success of victory. I don't even know what that means, but I'll shit in your mouth as well. There we go.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So got my predictions right when it comes to winning the money. Sean O'Malley got it done for me. Incredible stuff there. Islam Makhachev gets it done for me. That combination puts me over the hump, keeps me plus money. I basically spoke about everything on this card that I could think about. I shit on people's in people's mouth that deserved it. But now in the chat is your time to get your thoughts out. Anything on this card you want to discuss, let me know right now in the live chat as we wind this puppy down. I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for hitting the like button. I thank you for being
wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, guys and gals of the chat. And yes, something interesting. Credit to Damn Savage and people in the Discord talking about this. The TJ Dillashaw injury. This was taken before the fight. And over here, you could see there was something clearly going on in this section over here. So, I mean, say what you will, but TJ Dillashaw, I do not think was lying about his shoulder injury going into that fight. I want to shit in his mouth. Petr Yan is garbage. He's not garbage. Stop it. You know he's not garbage. KHAMZAT getting in a fight with Habib's crew after. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that real quick. We got Uncle Chrome coming in with the donation.
This might sound crazy, but I think Gregor Gillis with his wrestling would have a better chance than Benny. Guys like Khabib and Islam never fight guys that will go after them wrestling. It's always strikers.
You know, I hear what you're saying, but Gregor, I'm kind of over Gregor, man. It's like he's never fighting. He's calling a bunch of people out. Then he's fishing, and I don't know. He's got great wrestling, but I think he's too tiny. I don't know. I think Islam kind of throws him around. But it would be interesting watching him rolling around on the ground. Thank you. Very controversial. So okay. So the Khabib situation. I think we put it on Twitter. So HELWANI Chimaev gets in a little scuffle with Khabib and the boys. Well, more of the boys than anything. And afterwards, there was some controversy. Apparently, this is the story. HELWANI Chimaev's father reached out and says, hey, man, you got to apologize. So after that happens, they all get together. There's Islam, Khabib, HELWANI, you know, whoever the other guys are. I can't remember the other Nurmagomedovs and whatever. But it's a collaboration of neckbeards, and everything's good. All is well. A little bit of an embarrassing moment, but got squashed. So there they are. They were throwing Hasbulla around. They were flinging. They were midget tossing and shit. No, that didn't happen. But anyway, I mean, I don't need really to fucking play the audio. You know, there's your subtitles for that. So if anyone was worried about whatever beef was going on there, everything's cool. A little silly. It is weird when fighters are getting into fights in the crowd. Like, I don't know. These are professional fight. I mean, I know they're crazy. They're competitive and they got pride. And I don't know, but what are you doing? A little silly. It's weird because these guys don't really drink, right? Or maybe HELWANI drinks. I don't know, but I feel like in the religion, like alcohol is not a thing. So if you don't have alcohol fueling the craziness, what is the excuse? Like, why are they getting into fights? Any fights, most of the time, people are just drunk and they're acting stupid. But they don't really drink, right? Does HELWANI drink? So I guess he's not like full-blown super Muslim. Testosterone? I don't know, man. Like, usually drinks fuel the ridiculousness for the most part. Not all the time, but I would say 90% of the time. When you see craziness happen, it's usually someone had one too many. Maybe HELWANI drinks. Not impossible if he's hanging out with Darren Till. You have to be drunk to hang out with that guy.
Wonderful, wonderful.
IZZY
Please stop. American wrestlers ain't beating Islam. Single and doubles won't work. Please imagine if Khabib trains KHAMZAT. That's the 3-division champ then.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you would wonder why. But then Khamzat, you know, he's in good hands. If he was with Khabib, you would think he'd be a perfect fit for that stable of fighters for sure. But yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I would pick in the UFC, I would say sambo over American wrestling. I'm American. Of course I would want to go American wrestling, but come on. Come on, man. Now, Bo Nickel could change the game. Who knows? Bo Nickel could use that pure wrestling style that he's got in him. By the way, he's got some jiu-jitsu as well. It's not like Bo doesn't have jiu-jitsu skills as well. But he does. He has that solid wrestling pedigree. And who knows? Bo could go in there and start smacking around the sambo style, and then those people are correct. But yeah, the Great White Hope. But right now, how do you not pick sambo? Like, I mean, I don't understand. It's literally wrestling with fucking violence. Like, wrestling and violence, you put them together, throw it in the UFC, it wins. It's that simple. Chris Curtis beats Bo, changed my mind. I hope. That'd be great. I saw Chris going crazy on Twitter, man. Like, about Sean O'Malley and everything like that. And it's just like, fuck, man. I just know you don't like the guy. So it's like, you know, it comes across weird if you're on record saying how much you can't stand a guy and then leading the charge of robbery. Ugh. It's a bad. Chris, you got to stop dodging the MMA holes, man. You got to come back on. Talk. We got to get this out. Because here's the thing. I've hated on Sean. I'm clear. I am clear as day. I've hated on Sean multiple times. If I see something I don't like or I can't latch my, I can't latch onto, I criticize. That's how it is. You know, that's my job. But if I see something that someone's doing well, you got to fucking pat him on the back. And the fact that Sean O'Malley did enough to get the scores to go in his favor by a smidge is an incredible milestone for Sean O'Malley. And we'll end it on this. People are comparing him to Conor. It's not even a thing. Sean has a chance to do something completely different. It's not about the nonstop trash talk, the brash, the confidence. There is some humbleness there with Sean as well. There's vulnerability to Sean O'Malley. If he can keep winning by whether it's decision, finish, whatever the hell it is, as long as he keeps winning, there's nothing anyone can say. He can take that fan base and just catapult it to the next level. Sean O'Malley had the Abu Dhabi crowd yelling, Sean O'Malley, Sean O'Malley. That actually was happening. Let that sink in. There were the Yan chants, and then they started getting drowned out by Sean O'Malley, followed by some boos. But the fact that the crowd was able to just throw the Sean O'Malley name out there in Abu Dhabi goes to show you, if Sean keeps winning, this is an international superstar that is based out of Arizona. Crazy. Whether you hate Sean, you love Sean, you got to respect what the kid's doing. You have to. You have to. The dude fucking put a knee on his face, sliced open Yan. Yan's like, what? Like I said, 5-round fight, Yan would have won. But my prediction, 3-round fight, falls into Sean O'Malley's favor. He gets the job done. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I hit the nail on the head once again. I said exactly how that fight was going to go down before it even happened. So here's the thing. If you're new to the channel and you don't like spoilers, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to subscribe to this channel, but you just want to watch these fights without knowing what the outcome is, you want to be shocked and surprised, you watch the other channels that get their fights wrong, their picks wrong, and help you lose money. But if you want to know the outcome before it happens, you come over here and I'll spoil it for you. Mystic Moss, the MMA Holes, we do it wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, chat, I got to get out of here. Come on. Enough's enough. Comments in the comments section down below. Thank you to the donators that came in supporting the show. Thank you to our sponsors as well. We got the links in the description for Head Rush and Sheath Underwear, ESPN Plus as well. Sheath and Head Rush, the promo code is MMAHOLES for 20% off their products. Go check it out down below like we said before. Check out mybookie.ag. The promo code is MMAHOLES for 100% match on your first deposit. check out cbdx.com, the best THC stuff out there. I am addicted to Delta 8. It's a problem. I fly high and just chew on Delta 8s. It's bad. My Delta 8, I think I have a problem. I'm just going to, I just have a half a gummy. I'm good. I'm fucking good. So I like it. If you want 20% off, the promo code is MMA-HOLES for 20% off. CBDX.com. We don't have the link in the description. You just go to the website. Thank you, Julian Lane, for coming on the show. And in the chat, in the comments section down below, Ann H is pregnant. Shout out to Ann H. Let's go. I want to be the godfather, please. Big thanks to everyone stopping by today. Seriously, thank you for showing up. In the comments, debate away. Comment section down below. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Go yap away about your thoughts on UFC 280. I want to know what you think. Jesse on Fire is coming on Wednesday night. And don't forget about this, okay? This is the best advice you'll get all day. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole. Oh, Julian Lane, did I thank you for coming on? I think I did, right? Okay, good.
Wonderful, wonderful.